Yo, that transition was terrible. What's up, guys? This is my first time ever going live on this YouTube channel. So, welcome if you're here. This will be up after I'm live too. So, really what I want to do here is we're going to watch the trailer. Hopefully I don't get any like skipped frames or anything because it wasn't really working when I was testing before, which is why it took me so long to go live. But we're going to watch it and then we're going to replay it and go over everything in depth, and I'll give you my thoughts on what I think the story's going to be, what I think the characters are going to be, and then we'll talk in the chat, take some questions, see what you guys think, and then we'll go over it. So without further ado, let's just watch. I'm actually surprised they rebooted it again too. Without further ado, let's just watch it, and then we'll go and we'll analyze it. So I'm sure everyone's seen it already. I've seen it a few times. So here we go.
It is time. Time to wake up to a new reality.
This is my reaction of like
to
my
a blank
fifth time
canvas
watching it, or
that I have
time.
painted in with warmth and peace. In my new era, the choice is yours. Whether to live in quiet serenity or bloody strife. To dwell in joyous prosperity or bitter rivalry. You can face each other as sworn enemies or united as brothers. But a storm is brewing, and soon you will discover that even in this new era, one constant remains.
Here's where everything falls to shit.
There is always something worth fighting for. You have chosen to defy peace. Then you have chosen war with a god.
It's so fucking gruesome. Just the sound of like him just hitting the floor. We'll talk about that open frame. All right, so there's the trailer. I thought I had chat.
Hi, I'm Bowling Otter.
Okay, let's not. We don't want to see this. Okay, the chat is showing up, I guess, in my stream. Let's go back. Didn't mean for it to go that far. All right. Now we'll give some commentary as to what's going on here. So we open up.
It is time.
Fire God Liu Kang. Clearly, we're going with at least his ending. Okay, I haven't seen anything on who this is yet. But I think that that's Raiden. I think that that's human Raiden because he's got the hat. Raiden's confirmed to be in the game, and we'll go over that when we take a look at the FAQ. If you guys haven't seen that yet, there's a lot of information in there. That looks like Raiden. I think that that's human Raiden. Otherwise, new character? I don't know. I don't know who else this could possibly be.
Time to wake up.
Maybe, I don't know.
To
I was going
a
to say maybe
new
Raiden would
reality.
change places, but this is way before Liu Kang's timeline.
To a
so.
blank canvas that I have painted in with warmth and peace. In my new era, the choice is yours.
OG Kung Lao.
Whether to live in quiet serenity or bloody strife.
All right, then we get Katana. Love the design for
To
Katana.
dwell in joy.
This does not look like Outworld. When I first watched the trailer, I thought, that's Outworld. No, this is definitely Edenia. So, which begs the question if there even, one, is an Outworld, or two, how powerful it has gotten. So, this is definitely Edenia because we see palm trees, we see rose petals, we see castles in the background. Definitely Edenia.
Or bitter
Here's where
rivalry.
things get a little confusing. Why is Melina here? Okay. So there's a number of reasons why she could be here. So in the original timeline, Melina had been around for a while. It wasn't like the rebooted timeline where Katana just finds out in the MK2 time that Melina was created. She was actually working. Melina and Katana were working alongside each other in the original timeline, both as assassins for Shao Kahn. However, it doesn't appear that Shao Kahn is here because we're in Edenia. So Melina has never really been to Edenia because she was created in Outworld after Shao Kahn had already taken over and conquered it. So why is she here? That's a good question. She was created by Shang Tsung. We know that Shang Tsung is in the game. We see him later. So it's clear that maybe Shang Tsung had created Melina in this timeline. Don't know. I'm sure we'll figure it out somewhere in the next couple of weeks.
You can face each other.
Okay. Then we get Scorpion and Sub-Zero here. I'll wait till
sworn
the
enemies.
shot shows up.
Or united as brothers.
So I really don't like their design. They kind of look like AI art, and I don't know. It's just not really for me. On top of that, I'm 95% sure this is not Hanzo Hasashi, and this is not Kuai Liang or Bihan. So who are they? Because Hanzo Hasashi, Kuai Liang, they existed in the early 90s, with their clans, the Shiraryu and the Lin Kuei. So my guess is these are just descendants of them, just ancestors. An ancestor of Hanzo who's in the Shiraryu, and an ancestor of Kuai Liang and Bihan who is in the Lin Kuei. That's my guess here. They look nothing like they did in the past game. I just think that it's not them, and it's probably someone just taking up the moniker of Scorpion and the moniker of Sub-Zero. We know from Mortal Kombat Deception's Conquest that there was Sub-Zero way before. There was a Sub-Zero way before Kuai Liang and Bihan, so that's probably somewhere around who that is, like some great-great-great-great-grandfather. Same thing with whoever this is, taking up the moniker of Scorpion. Then we get the blotted out sun.
What a
So,
storm.
We see that this eclipse is happening. I love this shot, by the way. We see that this eclipse is happening in all, I guess, across all realms, or most of the realms, because we see that it's happening in both Earthrealm locations, wherever, I guess that's like a Shiryu temple. We see that it's happening wherever the OG Kung Lao and human Raiden are, and we see that it's happening in Edenia. So take note of that.
Is brewing. And soon you
Here
will
comes
discover
Farragut.
that even in this new era, one constant remains.
And then
There is always something worth fighting for.
All right, so now we get Shang Tsung coming in. Let's pause it right there. And he's killing everyone. Did you notice? This isn't multiple people getting killed. This is Shang Tsung going to every realm and killing everyone, assuming to gain more power, to get more souls. So what can we learn from the story from this? It looks like Shang Tsung is, I don't know, he looks to be the main bad guy. Maybe he's like an initial bad guy, and then we get another reveal later on. But he looks like he's traveling to all the different realms to eliminate everyone. I'm assuming to gain more power in order to take on Fire God Liu Kang. This is all my assumption. No idea if that's the actual storyline. So, is this evil ending Shang then? It could be. Right? It looks like him. He's wearing a similar outfit. And then we get Fire God Liu Kang going up against him.
You have chosen to defy peace. Then you have chosen war with a god.
So, if that's the case, I made a video, I guess it was a little over a year ago, maybe 2, I don't remember, after Aftermath had come out. Which ending is true? Because in Mortal Kombat, the endings aren't always the good ending. We've been duped before, or we've had the bad ending, or the bad guys win before. Deadly Alliance ended with like almost everyone dying, and then Onaga shows up. And initially in Deadly Alliance, everyone thought that Kung Lao was going to take up the moniker of the hero and be the victor. That didn't happen. So there is a possibility that both endings are canon, that Fire God Liu Kang, that it split into maybe 2 different timelines, or 2 timelines happening at the same time. That's a possibility of how Shang Tsung gets here. Otherwise, I don't know. All right, and then we can pause here on the screen here. So, could be this multiversal war, like Open Frame just said. That was something that I predicted in the video. I think that would be cool because it would be a good way to bring characters back to this past that characters like Johnny Cage, who is confirmed to be in the game, that could get brought back into the time of OG Kung Lao. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to explain how these characters exist in this time. So with that, I did want to go to the Mortal Kombat website. So let's head there where we can find some more things. Okay. It's in our blood. Discover a reborn Mortal Kombat universe created by the Fire God Liu Kang. Mortal Kombat 1 ushers in a new era of the iconic franchise with new fighting system, game modes, and fatalities. This also gives us a little bit of a hint of what we're going to expect gameplay-wise. Immersive story campaign. Fight through a brand new story featuring your favorite Mortal Kombat characters like you've never seen them before. So I think we're going to get a conquest mode that's going to be way more immersive and way more active. Maybe it'll be a little bit like Conquest in Deception, where you travel to the different realms. There were a few leaks that came out like not too long ago where people saying this was Conquest mode in Mortal Kombat 12, Mortal Kombat 1, but people kind of dismissed them as being AI art. But because I think a lot of these characters kind of look similar to AI art, I think that those might actually be true. I don't remember where I saw them. I think it might have been on Reddit. If I can find them, I will throw them up here too. Trailer we just watched. This one's interesting. Cameo fighters. Choose from a unique roster of cameo fighting partners to assist you in battle. So immediately my mind goes to like Marvel versus Capcom type deal, where I think you're gonna pick who your main fighter is, and then you're gonna come to another screen where you're gonna pick like a backup fighter, like a cameo fighter that's going to only come in at certain times of combat. Maybe you push a button and they'll come in and do a special move or something like that, to help you throughout the fight. And it appears to me, when we get to the FAQ, they go a little bit more into depth in this, but it appears to me that the cameo fighters are not going to be the same as the main roster. Yeah, I don't want to get my hopes up for a main Conquest too, but they're already up. Okay, pre-order, we get Shang Tsung. Where's that FAQ? Here we go. What type of game is Mortal Kombat 1? Mortal Kombat 1 is the latest title in the acclaimed Mortal Kombat video game franchise, developed by award-winning NetherRealm Studios. The game will introduce a reborn Mortal Kombat universe that has been created by the Fire God Liu Kang, featuring, so right there, that his ending is at least canon, featuring reimagined versions of iconic characters as they've never been seen before, along with new fighting system, game modes, bone-crushing finishing moves, and more. A lot of characters that have monikers that can be passed down throughout the ages, kind of like what I said with Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I think we'll see some more of them in the game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lady Nightwolf, if we see female Nightwolf, because we did get teased in one of his endings that, you know, Nightwolf is a title that's just passed down. I'd be all about that too. I think that'd be pretty sweet. So that's something that I would look out for. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, yeah, we're gonna get them as well. Who is developing Mortal Kombat 1? All versions of Mortal Kombat 1 are built on NetherRealm Studios technology with oversight by NetherRealm. The NetherRealm team is developing the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X versions of the game. Q-Lock is developing the Steam and Epic Game Store version of the game. So this is interesting because I play most of my games on PC. I think I'm going to buy it on either Xbox or PlayStation, probably Xbox. And then I'll probably buy it on PC also. But I just don't trust, by the way that all these PC ports have been coming out recently, I don't trust getting the full game on Steam. So Shiver Entertainment and Saber Interactive are developing the Nintendo Switch version of the game. I don't know why. I feel like that's going to be really bad. Switch is so far behind. Who is publishing Mortal Kombat 1? Warner Brothers. When does Mortal Kombat 1 release? Scheduled for worldwide release on September 19th. Let's go. Mortal Kombat 1 will be available for early access. Players who purchase Mortal Kombat 1 Premium Edition or Mortal Kombat 1 Collector's Edition will have early access to the game beginning September 14th. Okay, we already know the platforms. We already know PC. We saw that. How much will it cost? We don't. That's all Collector's Edition. We don't really need that. We're looking for more lore stuff. August is when the beta is going to release. Which characters? Here we go. Which characters will be in Mortal Kombat 1? Mortal Kombat 1 will feature reimagined fighters like they've never been seen before, including Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Kung Lao, Kitana, Mileena, Shang Tsung, and Johnny Cage, and many others. So Cage is interesting because we didn't see him in the trailer. Now, is this the real Johnny Cage? Is this Johnny Cage's ancestor? Because we know that he has ancestors of Mediterranean heritage. That's where he gets that green glow from. That's a possibility. Or maybe there's a time jump again, kind of like how Mortal Kombat 9 did the time jump. Mortal Kombat X does flashbacks. So there's a possibility that we start off in like this feudal age, like feudal China and Japan, and then we just time jump to the 90s to like the new tournament. That's a possibility. Or again, we could have that both endings are canon. Johnny Cage did not die in Aftermath, so he could still be alive in Shang Tsung's conquered Earthrealm, trying to like as like a freedom fighter or something. That's a possibility of how he can come back. What are cameo fighters and how do they work in Mortal Kombat 1? Cameo fighters are a unique roster of partnered characters to assist during matches, creating expanded gameplay possibilities for players. These characters are chosen separately from the main roster of fighters. Okay, so right there, it's not the same as the main roster. So there's a possibility that we could see almost every character from Mortal Kombat ever in this game and have half of them be playable and half of them be cameo fighters. And honestly, I would be okay with that. I know a lot of people kind of don't like that, but I'd be perfectly fine with putting like lower level characters like Suhao or Dairu or like all those forgettable characters and throwing them in as like a cameo fighter. There are characters that I do want to see come back as playable characters like Havoc, Hotaru, Nitara, Li Mei. I know that Ed Boon has said that there will be a focus on 3D era characters in this game, so I think some of them will be back. But this says to me is that these characters, you know, like the Jareks and the Meats and like those, have a possibility of showing up as cameo characters. What type of modes will Mortal Kombat 1 have? NetherRealm's genre-defining story mode returns with a brand new cinematic narrative featuring unexpected twists on classic rivalries and original backstories for the wide-ranging cast of legendary fighters. So it looks like we're getting some retcon, not necessarily retcons, since everything that has happened in past timelines is still relevant, but we will get new stories for people. More details for online and offline modes will be coming soon. Internet connection is not required, and then it just goes into more technical things. PlayStation Plus subscriptions, all that. So that is it for the FAQs. My speculations, which I've kind of given along the way, I would love to see more 3D era characters come back, but again, since a lot of them kind of show up later on in the timeline, it's going to be hard to do that in a game that's set way in the past. I don't know. Unless we have either one a time jump or we have Shang Tsung's ending is also canon and you have this like multiversal war going on, which I think could be pretty cool. So after the breakdown, after the FAQs, I'm here to answer the chat's questions. So guys, ask away. I'm going to take a look at some of the chat here. I've kind of been glancing over at you guys, but let's see. Naruto Storm support character vibes. Yeah, you have support characters that aren't playable. Exactly. I think if 3D era are coming back, Li Mei and Havoc are near guarantees. Definitely. Let's take a look actually at some rosters and see who has the possibility of coming back and who we don't think at all is going to come back. So and I'm going to share my screen here. So we're going to go to fandom. Franklin Pimentel? I hope I said that right. As long as they don't shoehorn any wokeness PS and talk about not wanting female characters being too slutty. I mean, whatever. I hope we just at least get the like classic characters. That's the classic costumes. That's all I really care about. Hot take: Su Hao has the potential to be a cool character. That is a hot take. I don't know if I agree with you there. All right, let's go game by game because that's how I like to do this. I want to put Mortal Kombat 1, but that's not in the cards now. Here we go. 1992 video game. So the original characters we've got. Almost certain with that open dialogue we will get create a character. Yeah. So it's weird, right? We have that that open dialogue that's kind of like choose your own adventure type thing is what the vibes that I'm getting from it. Like choose whatever, make your choice. I forget exactly what they said. So it's making me feel like there's something to do with Conquest where you kind of like choose who you're going to ally with and whatnot. I definitely think it's going to focus heavy on something like that. I don't even want Su Hao as the new protagonist. All right, so Johnny Cage is confirmed. Kano is not. Liu Kang, Raiden, Scorpion are Sub-Zero. I kind of feel like Sonya is like has to be in because she's Sonya. She's been in almost every game. Kano, I feel like, could take a break. He's been in it for a while, but I don't really know anyone who's like a huge Kano fan. And I feel like if they wanted to drop him or bring him as like DLC, I feel like that could work. Sonya, I feel like, has to probably be in, but who knows? Song is in. If we're going Mortal Kombat 1, Goro's got to be there, right? And Reptile, I know people are hammering for him to be back, but I think he has a very good chance of coming back since he's been around for a while. The Saurians, his race, have been there for a while, so I think Reptile has a solid chance of being there. Ermac, also a very high chance of being there. Let's take a look at characters from Mortal Kombat 2. Goro will be there. I'm like, that's like a 90%, 95% chance that he'll be there. Okay, new characters from Mortal Kombat 2. Baraka, he's getting the X. I don't think he's going to make it. Sorry. Jax. If we're going with the time skip, I think we'll see him. If we're going with Shang Tsung's ending also happens, I think we'll see him. Katana's there. Kung Lao, OG Kung Lao's there. We're not going to see this Kung Lao. Molina, we've seen. Sub-Zero, not Kuai Liang, but he's there. Jade should be in it because we get Edenia, we get Katana and Molina, so I think there's a very high possibility of Jade being there. Smoke, I know people want him, but he doesn't make sense for the story unless they bring, again, unless it's that canon ending of Shang Tsung or the time skip. I think Noob Saibot can probably set this one out. Chameleon we'll get to. I don't think we're going to see Kentaro. I honestly don't think we're going to see Shao Kahn either. I think he's just kind of like erased. We got Trilogy. This is not the type of list that I wanted. Okay. Here we go. Bios and endings. This is better. Ermac, I already said I think he's going to be there. I don't think we're going to see Chameleon. I think maybe he can be like a cameo character, but I don't think he'll be there. Smoke might be DLC from outcry of fans. I can see that happening. Motaro, nope, not going to happen. Maybe as a cameo. The reason why Motaro doesn't work in these Mortal Kombat games is because he's got 4 legs. And, like, for the sake of, like, throw animations and X-ray moves and stuff like that, it just won't work with him. So that's why he hasn't been in the game. That's why they didn't put him in the 3D games, and that's why they made him bipedal in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. So he could work as a cameo character because he'll just kind of run in and do his move and run off the screen. Otherwise, we're never going to see him come back as a playable or boss character, I don't think. Is Shang Tsung an anti-hero and Liu Kang the bad guy? My thoughts. The way that Liu Kang was kind of doing, like, finished his monologue, I could see that they might start going like evil god Liu Kang, kind of the way that they were going down the way of evil Raiden, but then they chickened out and decided not to do that. That would be a cool twist, and they said we're in for some twists if like Fire God Liu Kang becomes I don't know, like mad with power and Shang Tsung has to stop him. I wouldn't dislike that. think Shao Kahn has to be in the game because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason Melina even exists is because of Shao Kahn. Right? That is correct, but she exists. Well, yes and no. So she exists because Shang Tsung made her to be Shao Kahn's unofficial daughter. So I believe she's a surprise in the new like to him from Shang Tsung in the new timeline. Maybe I could be completely wrong on that one. It's been a while since I played Mortal Kombat 9. So it could be Shang Tsung's just like he's the one that made her, so he could just go and create her again in this timeline also. I just have a feeling we're not going to see Shao Kahn, at least not as a playable character or a boss or anything like that. No, it does not look like Carrie is coming back because I think we would have saw his face on Shang Tsung, and that's not his face. Is this the era where Onaga exists? I don't know. But I don't think Onaga's going to be the bad guy. Maybe. I honestly think they're waiting for the next Mortal Kombat. I think he's going to be like the stinger at like the end DLC of this game, the story DLC for the next one. So that's what I think. But I could be wrong. Smoke we already went through. Wow, we don't really have a lot of bios or endings here, do we? We get the chameleons, and I would love to see female chameleon. I think male chameleon is a really bad character, so I don't really care to see him or not, if he comes back. Let's see. I'm going to bring up character selects for the rest. Nope, didn't want to do that. Okay. Mortal Kombat Gold character select. Let's see. You think they'll add any characters from X and 11? We'll get there. Boom gives us Mortal Kombat 9 on mod. It's kind of weird that like, are they going to do this every 10 years now? Because Mortal Kombat 9 came out in 2011. I guess it's been 12 years, but like every decade they're just going to reboot it again. Okay. I think that Shang might be the main bad guy in MK11. Shao Kahn was easy order character, but Kronika was the main villain. So is another character, new main villain coming. So basically, like, do I think Shang Tsung is the main bad guy and that there's another one? I think there's probably another main bad. Who could that be? Is it someone new? I mean, it could be Onaga. I don't know. I feel like they're not going to commit to Onaga. And he doesn't really fit with the past storyline. Honestly, Dagon. Maybe Dagon. That's what I'm going with. Because they're not going to do Shinnok again. They're not going to do Shao Kahn again. Dagon makes sense because he was around at that time. We see Edenia too. So I would go with Dagon over Onaga. Okay. Mortal Kombat Gold. So new characters that we have here. Ugh, God, these characters. Reiko. I think Reiko actually has a good chance of coming back. Kai, or that's Jarek. Kai is down here. I don't want to see Jarek back, but maybe he comes in as a cameo character. This whole team thing too, like choose your side, whatever. And even in like Mortal Kombat's tweets, it's like they're saying certain things along that too, like whatever side you're on, your alliance or whatever, has me feeling that we're going to start seeing more factions again. So I think, if we do see like the Black Dragon, and then you'll get like 2 Black Dragon cameo characters. So maybe if Kano is in the game, and then you get like Jarek and I don't know, Kira as cameo characters, like that would make sense. And it would make sense for the story too, because then if you're in the story mode and you're fighting against I don't know, Mavado, and then you get Suhao as his like cameo character that jumps in the fight because they're both Red Dragon. Like that makes a lot of sense to me. So I think they're gonna start showing a lot more of these like small factions that we used to see in like back in the day Mortal Kombat that haven't really shown up that much in the new MK. I mean, I guess we got like faction battle in MKX, but that's not really the same type of thing that I'm talking about here. Yeah, I'd love Reiko to return. Jarek can be a cameo character. I don't really care about Kai. I don't think we'll see him as either. I think it makes sense for Fujin to return, so I hope we see him again. Quan Chi seems like he's going to be DLC. I don't think he's going to be in this, but I can see him being a DLC character. Meat. Franklin said, what about Meat? I don't think we'll see him, but maybe. I don't think so, though. I wouldn't hold my breath for Meat. Tanya. I think there's a possibility of her coming back. She's also Edenian. Again, we saw Edenia, so we can expect people like her, Rain, to be in the game. Jade. The way Liu Kang spoke in the trailer makes me think the story will get us players to make choices which change relationships between characters. Yeah, that's a possibility. Definitely a possibility. So a young Raiden being mentioned. I think what happened with Raiden, I think Liu Kang just kind of like switched their roles. And now Raiden is this young, like human Raiden. All right, give me a sec. I'm going to pull up the Deadly Alliance roster. You know who I really want to see? Serena. I think Serena deserves a chance to come back. All right, Deadly Alliance screen. The most underrated Mortal Kombat game. Okay, we've got Bo Raicho. I don't think he'll be back. He was DLC 2 games ago. I don't know. He's not that... I like him, but he's not really that popular of a character. We've got Li Mei. I would love to see Li Mei come back, and I think there's a good possibility. Kenshi, I think he'll be here. I think he sat out. He's usually in the games. He sat out last game. I think he's going to come back. Mavado. I like Mavado. I don't think a lot of other people do. I don't think he's going to be in as an actual playable character, possibly cameo. Nitara. I think Nitara is going to come back. I think we're going to see her, and there's a high possibility. She was in the movie, so I think she might be here. Draman has cameo character written all over him. I don't hold your breath for Suhao. I don't think he's coming. Ooh, and then we have Frost. I think Frost sits this one out. Everyone was kind of wanted Frost for a while to come back, and rightfully so. She is not a bad character, but I think after last game, everyone's kind of tired of her already, so I don't think Frost will be back. Serena would be good, but I feel if she returns, she would have Bi-Han Sub-Zero. Yeah, that's true. Because their story kind of goes hand in hand, and there's not really a lot about the Netherrealm. I would love to see her though, but I think there's a huge possibility of her not being in the game. Probably a greater possibility of her not being in the game. I can't wait for the day you're going to break down MK1, or personally, I want to MK12. Yeah, once the game is out, so I'm thinking I'm going to, I think I might stream the whole story. And then obviously they'll have a video that gets added that's a little bit more polished, that gets actually added to the complete history of Mortal Kombat series. And then I'm sure there'll be DLC, and that'll be another video also. Blaze and Mocap, I can see them putting Mocap in there as a cameo character, as like a joke, especially if Johnny Cage is going to be in the game, because he's going to need... The way I see cameo characters work, and I'm wondering if it's one or two, like if you get to pick two cameo characters to join in with you or just one, is I think that each playable character is going to have like their cameo character, right? So if Johnny Cage is in the game and we don't get, I'm sure Cassie's not going to be in it, but like who is his cameo character? This sounds like it could be a video completely on its own, but I'll wait for more information on cameo characters before I create that. But like it would make sense that it would be Mocap, because Mocap is his motion capture artist, so there's a possibility. I think there's a greater possibility than people think that Mocap will be in this game. Blaze, I don't think he'll be in there. So what does cameo character mean? Wolf, you might not have been here when we were going over the FAQ, but basically they announced that there's going to be cameo characters. They said that this is a completely separate list of characters from playable characters. And basically these characters, you'll pick them after you pick your playable character, and then they'll, I guess, kind of like jump in the middle of the fight for like a couple hits or a special move or something like that. Kind of like if you've ever played Marvel vs. Capcom and you pick 3 characters, although you get to play as all 3 of them. But you can do moves where like one of the characters kind of swoops in and hits your enemy and then, or opponent, and then falls back out. That's how I think this is going to happen. Johnny is in the game. Yes. It has been announced through the Mortal Kombat website FAQ that he will be in the game, and he's actually getting a pre-order bonus, which is going to be his Mortal Kombat 1 attire, which we have not seen since Mortal Kombat 1. Any theories on Shang Tsung? Support Gaming, good to see you. Been a long time. Any theories on why Shang Tsung is in the trailer? Yeah, I gave some theories before, but I'll go over it again. I think that notice he's the only one that's killing characters. So there's something that he's doing to kill all these characters. And maybe this trailer, kind of like the MK11 announcement trailer, doesn't actually have anything to do with the story. It's just like a cool trailer that they're doing. But I think the possibilities of why he's killing all these characters is because he's trying to like level up and he's trying to get more powerful. Or there's a possibility that his ending was also canon, and both of the endings are canon, and now there's this like multiverse war that's going on between them. That's my theories. Jean-Claude Van Damme as Johnny's skin. Yep, that's the MK1 skin, because it was supposed to be played by Van Damme. Why don't they call it MK12 instead of MK1? Yeah, I don't like the name either. I think it's, I don't know. I'd rather them have just like, I don't know, just some type of, like what they used to do with like Deadly Alliance Deception, where there's like a subtitle for the game rather than, or just MK12, MK1. Now it's going to be confusing because now we're going to have to say the OG Mortal Kombat or the original Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat Classic for MK1, because I used to just call it MK1. Now we're going to have to change that. Let's take a look at some Deception characters, speaking of Deception. Nintendo should just give the green light to make young Link a cameo character. Yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen. I was thinking about that today of like who, if you guys remember, I think it was Soul Calibur 2 that came out like years and years ago. It came out on GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation, and each platform had a different guest character. Link was the one on GameCube. I think it was someone from Tekken on PlayStation, and then Spawn was the character on Xbox. Like that would be pretty cool if we got something like that, where like you could do Kratos again. But then I don't know who the Nintendo character would be, because Nintendo would never give the rights for that. Bayonetta, maybe? Actually, that kind of makes sense. It's going to be weird seeing Liu Kang as the new Raiden, and Raiden basically the new Liu Kang as Immortal. Yeah, it is. Okay, Mortal Kombat Deception. I'm realizing now that my face is covering some. Let's do that. Okay. Most of these we've gone through. Sindel, I think there's a good chance that we see Sindel again, especially if we're seeing Adenia. It kind of makes sense that she would be in the game. If not a playable character, at least as a cameo character. However, I think if she is in the game as a cameo character, we're going to get, like, MK Twitter is going to have a field day with that one. Havoc will be in the game. Mark my words on that. Havoc will be in the game. People have been asking for him for a long time. He will be there. Lee May, we went over. Cabal, I don't think we're going to see him. Nightwolf, I think I would like to see Nightwolf come as Lady Nightwolf, female Nightwolf that we got teased. I would love to see that as a character. Noob Sabat and Smoke. Smoke is a maybe. I don't think we're going to see Noob. I see a couple questions that just came in too. I'm going to go through Deception and then answer them. I would love to see Shujinko's return, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Hotaru. Yeah, give me Hotaru. Bring him back. Hotaru is an underrated character. Maybe the most underrated character. Also, if you're having Havoc, you should have Order Realm. So, yeah. I could do without Ashra. I know people like her, but I don't really care. No. Across the board. Dairu is a terrible character. Cobra is a terrible character. Darius is a terrible character. Kira is just female Kano. Maybe cameo character. All right, let's see. What are your thoughts on the leaked roster where it was said that Liu Kang's son may be in it? I don't see how that would make sense, seeing that he's a fire god. So I don't know, unless, yeah, I don't see that being a possibility, but maybe. Also, think about this for a second. Katana and Melina was nowhere in sight during the Great Kung Lao era. They came years after him. So they weren't, but they were still, well, Katana at least was still alive, because Katana is like 10,000 years old. So the Great Kung Lao era was not 10,000 years ago. So Katana had been around for a while before then. So it does make sense that she's in it. In the original timeline, like the 2D Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3 era timeline, Melina had been around for a while, but we never get an actual estimate on how old she was. But she was working as a assassin for Shao Kahn alongside Katana in that era, so it's possible that she's alive. But the only thing that doesn't make sense is that they're in Edenia, which means that Edenia was never conquered, which means that Shao Kahn could never clone Katana to make Melina. So that's the thing that doesn't make sense as to why Melina's in the game, is in the game. Shujinko never gets love. It's true. In the original timeline, Midway era, Katana and Melina were likely around during. Yep. Okay. Just said that. All right. And then Armageddon's easy because it's just two new characters. It's Taven and Dagon. I actually would love to see Dagon come back, and I did say that there's a possibility he might be the boss. Taven's kind of boring. I don't really care about Taven. I could care less if he comes back. Mortal Kombat 9. Who did we get? Scarlet. I wouldn't mind seeing Scarlet come back. I think she was actually a great addition last game. Let's take a look at X. I did tell you guys that we would get to the rebooted timeline. Trying to find a good high res one. There we go. Let's see. I'm going to move myself up here so that everyone can see. All right, guest characters. They're not coming back. I mean, we're going to get guest characters, but they're not going to come back. Striker. There's one that I missed. Nah, I don't think we're going to see him. People don't like Striker, but I would be open to it, but it doesn't make sense timeline wise. You know, he's like, same thing with the cyborgs. It doesn't make sense for them to be there. I don't know how they'd factor them in really, unless there's a time jump. I don't think we need Striker either. He's kind of boring. There was a long time where Striker was like considered the worst character. Aaron Black. A character that everyone loved in Mortal Kombat X and then just kind of became like an overthought in Mortal Kombat 11. He's supposed to be really old, so I could see him being in the game, but again, I think everyone's kind of sour on him, so I don't think he's coming back. Support gaming. If the Liu Kang's son rumors are true, imagine if his son in the game ends up being Raiden in the new era. I was thinking that like maybe he just made Raiden his son, but I don't know. I don't think so. That'd be kind of stupid. Who do we have? Ermac, I would love to see. All right. I love Kotal Khan as a character, but he's not coming back. I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see Ferrator either. I want Takeda. I would love to see all of the combat kids. Give Kun Jin a new like a better story, give him a better opportunity, but I don't think we're going to see any of the combat kids. I know people are asking for Takeda. Maybe DLC is what I'm thinking for him. I also really like Devora, but no one else does, so she's not coming back, I don't think. Tremor, I doubt it. We've gone over everyone else. Triborg is a terrible character, and he should never be mentioned. We absolutely need a Shokin character in this kind of game. It's going to be Goro. It has to be, because Goro is the one that defeats the Great Kung Lao. He makes sense. He's back in that era, so I think we're going to see Goro come back. And then new characters for Mortal Kombat. I should have just done a tier list. I don't know why I'm thinking about this now. Okay. Yeah, no Cyber Initiative. Although maybe we get human Cyrax and human sector, but that's not fun. Maybe the new MK game is based in the Great Kung Lao's era, mixed with modern characters somehow brought in game because Johnny Cage. Yep. Yeah, we mentioned this before where it doesn't make sense for Johnny to be in it either unless there's a time skip or unless Shang's ending is canon and somehow he gets thrust into the past or whatever. New characters are these three and Chronica, and I don't think we're going to see any of them, to be honest. I think that's it. Yeah. All right, let's get rid of these. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Move myself down a little bit because I look weird up here. But those are my thoughts. Also, I've been planning on, I'm in like the early stages of doing a new series on the channel, which would be all about the realms. So they would be, it would be like the complete history of Outworld, the complete history of Earthrealm. I think those are going to be the next videos that I dive into. I'm not too savvy with these live streams just because it's the first one I've done. Possibly we can do these more in the future. I love interacting with you guys. Shiva, if we get cameo if what I think cameo characters are, where I said that like each character is going to have their own cameo character and Goro is playable, I think Shiva would be his cameo character. I've always had a funny idea in my head that at least in the original timeline that that Lin Kuei, created the Cyber Initiative due to Shujinko defecting and stealing the Earth Kami Dogu. Yeah, that's possible. Do you think the One Being plays a huge role in what's going on? I think they could set up the One Being in this game, and then we have Onaga and MK13. That's my prediction for now. As I was mentioning, though, I think I'm going to do some videos on lore. So, yeah. So I think that's going to be what's coming next. I'm in the early stages of doing that, and then I'll post them. But since MK1 is only like right around the corner, I think I might do some more videos about this until it releases, just to kind of get everyone on board. But that's all I really had for you guys. So, I think the Homelander theory was debunked. Imagine Homelander in the new game. I think he'd actually be not that bad of a guest character, but I don't think we're gonna see. I'm pretty sure that they said that that's a no. I think we have a better chance of seeing Peacemaker because it's WB than we have of seeing Homelander. What if cameo characters like variations? You can choose different ones to support you in the field. Yeah, that's a possibility too. I'm going to say Katana's not going to remember who Liu Kang is. I think everyone's memory is probably going to be wiped. But that's it. That's all I got. I think probably call it a night. Been streaming for about an hour. So thank you guys so much for coming to the stream, for watching. There is a Discord. It should be linked in the YouTube. Sorry, Devin, I just am I'm reading the YouTube chat and not the Twitch chat. Do you think we get 2v2 again? I don't think so, because I think this cameo thing is going to play a role, but I would love for 2v2 to come back. So, yep. Thanks for watching. Join the Discord. Hopefully I'll get a few more videos out for you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. I don't have a now ending button. So okay, let's see. I'm gonna leave this up just so that it doesn't cut anything off.